I tell you, this Twitter is going to get me in trouble. So, okay, I gotta stop. Meghan Markle poll: should Kate extend olive branch and back new Duchess of Sussex scheme? And, well, I won't say the name of the person on Twitter because I don't want to start no trouble, but she says, what olive branch? Kate can't format a sentence without mumbling. How the hell is she going to survive the the 4x4? Now, see, I didn't say that. I'm just quoting somebody from Twitter. Oh, see, I hate to start off one of my videos messy, but, okay, Kate is a little challenged. She's shy, and public speaking is difficult for her, and I wouldn't even make light of this. I wouldn't even be messy about this if it wasn't for the fact that the Duchess of Sussex had such a hard time. And I know some people are like, well, we should be above all that, but I look at how the Duchess of Sussex was treated. Kate was supposed to take Meghan under her wing, but really it's Meghan who could have taken Kate under her wing and maybe have helped her. But we'll never know, because instead of using this incredible asset that is within arm's reach there at the KP, you ran her out of town. You and your incandescent with rage husband, you all ran her out of town, so we'll never know. So when I see something like this, as opposed to being morally outraged, how could they say that about the future queen? Well, I don't know what to tell you. It's very difficult to be sympathetic to someone who has weaponized her tears. This is the person who wore virtually a white dress to her future sister-in-law's wedding. This is the mean girl, and so I can't bring myself to have sympathy for her at this time. It's just not possible. There's been too much said and too much done. Rather than setting the record straight, they decided to bunker in and hunker down or whatever, and go even further at trying to destroy the Duchess of Sussex. They won't even set the record straight. If you can't say it, then write it down, but do something. It's not fair what they have done to the Duchess of Sussex. And that's why I say when you reach out to someone and they slap your hand away, put a copy of Harry's book in it. Or put a copy of The Bench in that hand. Don't slap it away. Send them away with some reading material. And I do know that I'm being a bit petty, but my pettiness is born out of my frustration. What the world needs to adjust to is that there are some brilliant women out there. And when you encounter a woman who's intelligent and brilliant, you treat them as a partner. You don't try to suppress them. The world could benefit so much from brilliance, no matter which gender it comes from. We just need brilliance. We don't need to try to erase someone's or downplay someone's talent. We shouldn't do that. We can all benefit collectively. One of the things that had me in tears, I think it was last week, Facts and 2 Cents said that she had this 10-year scheme. Kate, that is, had this 10-year scheme. See, I'm not even going to tell it right, but I never mind. I can't tell it the same way. But I think it took her 20 years to reach that point, to have this 10-year scheme, and that's like half a scheme per year or something. See, that's why I love Facts and 2 Cents. If you haven't watched their podcast, they give it to you. You know what I'm saying? They really give it to you. So, and I wish I could say it the way I heard it, but I can't. But when you think about this English Rose, Kate, coming up with a scheme, and I actually did a video about that myself, that she's been around that family for 20 years, and she's been married to him for 10 years. And every time they try to elevate Kate's status by what she's doing, they actually insult her. The article where they said Kate shows Meghan how it's done, they actually were insulting Kate. And I don't know that Kate gets it. I don't know if she understands it, but it's not benefiting her to have people keep pushing you forward and taking you outside of your comfort level just so that you could try to knock the black girl down. That is not working for you. It makes you look foolish. But I have to say, Twitter is a dangerous place to be if you're on the wrong side of the Sussexes. I'll just say that. But I guess the thing about the Cambridges that is just so insulting is that they have this pretense of superiority because one was born first and the other was born rich. And between the two of them, they're supposed to be the critical thinkers of our time. They are supposed to be the leaders of tomorrow, a future king, and someone who seems so uncomfortable in her own skin. I don't know how, and I don't care. It's just that they love to pit these two against this brilliant power couple. That's the insulting part. That's what insults me. And it's an affrontment to me that these two are being pitted against and it's not Meghan's fault that this is how they decided to cast her. It's not her fault. She didn't ask for that. This is totally the makings of, or should I say, made by the tabloid. These are characters that they have created. And so, to show you how fickle the public is, that they turned against Prince Harry, I can never, ever rectify in my mind how that was possible. Nothing, I have no understanding of how they managed to do that, but they turned the British public against Prince Harry. But it's so incredible the way so many women of substance and men of substance came out to celebrate with the Duchess of Sussex and who have volunteered to join the 4x4. I'm sorry, 40x40. That was a slip of the tongue. When I said 4x4, I was thinking of Robert Jobson, 4 feet tall, 4 feet wide. 4x4. Or maybe he's a 5x5. But maybe I was thinking of Robert Jabba the Hutt Jobson. But I tell you one thing that Sarah Vine was able to get right. She said, this is the queen in her Montecito castle. And you know what? You're absolutely right. This is the queen in her Montecito castle. It must be hard for these so-called journalists to see this, because it's just like when Michelle Obama went to the White House. It was like this notion. I think that they could accept Obama going into the White House, but it was the idea that this African American woman was elevated to the highest status in the land. I mean, for a woman, other than being one of the cabinet members, or as we have it now, vice president, There was just no higher elevation that you could have than being First Lady, because you had this tremendous platform at your disposal. And like it or not, that is like really the chief advisor to the president is the vice president and the First Lady. That's the trio that gives the most advice to the president. And of course, the first and the last person to have the president's ear is actually the First Lady. And here you have this African American woman flying in the Marine One helicopter, flying on the Air Force One. They couldn't take it. Some of y'all may not have heard this story before, but Michelle Obama, when she went to university, her first dorm mate was from New Orleans. And this woman was, she called her mother immediately. Her first reflex was to Karen. She called her mother, and she went all Karen on the phone. And she said, they put me in a room with this black girl. And I wonder if she said black girl, or you could imagine what she said. And so her mother went straight to the administrative office, and she had this hissy fit about the fact that you put my daughter in a room with a black woman. And I'm assuming that's the language she used. And so they had to find another roommate for Michelle Obama, or find her. I don't know who had to move, but that was her first reflex. And then once Michelle Obama became the First Lady of the land, then all of a sudden this lady wants to make up. She wants to say how wrong she was. And Michelle Obama just simply never spoke about it. I don't know if it's in her book, but she never spoke about it. The whole time she was in the White House, she never mentioned the woman's name. She never addressed the situation or anything. But she just decided to rise above it and ignore them. But all of a sudden, this lady wants to apologize and wants to be Michelle Obama's friend and, stay up late at night and braid each other's hair and talk about boys. Your first reflex was to call your mother and cry out, there's a black woman in my room. This is the stuff we go through. This is what we go through. As black people, we always find ourselves this outcast until people decide that we're hip to hang around. And so in some cases, you'll have a black person that is the outcast. And then when it's decided that that person is the it person or the cool person, then all of a sudden everybody wants to make up. So I wouldn't venture to guess that there will ever be a time or a place where the Duchess of Cambridge is going to reach out to the Duchess of Sussex. And maybe that goes both ways. But I think that in time, she may get that urge. I'm still going to have faith that she will see the light. But right now, I think she's so entrenched in being the mean girl that it's just not possible. Maybe she's listening to her mother too much. Or maybe this is just the core personality that she has, is to mean girl. Forbes magazine. Meghan Markle wants to celebrate her 40th birthday by spending 40 minutes mentoring women. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, is turning 40, and to celebrate her birthday, she's launching a philanthropic initiative to help get more women back to work. Due to the pandemic, over 2 million women in the United States and tens of millions of women worldwide have left the workforce. The Duchess is asking that each of us spend 40 minutes helping reverse this trend. But yet, the Daily Fail has yet another article where they try to slap this initiative down by saying that it can do more harm than good. Have you no dignity? Have you no sense of fair play? Rather than allowing something to evolve without this type of petty criticism, you would rather slap it down just for the sake of attacking someone who's thousands of miles away that is in no position to cause you any harm, but you rather slap it down just to be petty. Did you hear me criticize? I couldn't keep a straight face, but did you hear me criticize Kate Middleton for that initiative that she had that was 10 years in the that was 10 years in the making, where she sat up night after night with papers scattered all over the floor, a number 2 pencil in her mouth and her hair in a bun, working feverishly to try to figure out how can I how can and when, and if we can just get enough people together. And then she they'd have to wake her up and say, Mom, it's 6:30 in the morning, Mom. You must have fallen asleep working feverishly on this 10-year scheme. That's what we're led to believe. But you don't hear me slapping that down. And the reason why is because I know she had very little to do with it. But you don't see me slapping it down. The truth is, some of the Duchess of Cambridge charities have almost taken out newspaper ads and used milk cartons to try to find her because she's been MIA for so long. But you don't hear me criticizing her, because if there's some change that she can effectively work out, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. You won't see me criticizing her. But don't ask me how I know this, but in the very near future, you're going to find Copycat in her office at home with her hair pulled back and with a cardigan over her shoulders, and she'll be sitting at a desk with copies of her photography book stacked up on her desk, and you believe me, you'll see that really soon. It seems like it's probably difficult for Catherine to use her voice, but at some point she's going to have to do that. She's not known to be a very hard-working person. She's not known to be a very structured or deliberately decisive person. I guess the only thing that she's known for is the mean girl. Even though she has managed to avoid that branding from the press over there, I think people who are outside of the bubble knows exactly what's going on. So Catherine, use your voice and end this hostility. Anyway, that's it for right now. Have a good day, you guys. Don't forget to like and share. Also, you can donate if you choose, the PayPal, the Cash App, or the Patreon. Whichever you choose. But if you cannot donate, at least keep commenting and keep sharing. And don't forget to like. That's very important.